Oh, Mr. Speaker, thank you very, very much. You know, I really wasn't going to say anything. I take enough pictures, and I tried my best to just be able to put it on the boards. But like our governor, I got turned down. So you are going to have to listen to me at least for a couple of minutes. But it's been a real joy to be here, to be part of all of you. And the one thing that we have really proven is that we are a winning team, period. No parties involved here. This is strictly about our team and the team that we have put together to make Michigan a stronger place to live and work today. For not only ourselves going home every night or every weekend, as Bruce and I do, to be able to face our constituents and say, you know what? I'm doing the job that you've asked me to do, that you've hired me to do, and to be able to stand proudly whether we voted yes or we voted no on different issues, again, depending on the input that we've been able to receive from our constituents. Because that's really who we are working for. Even though, as I was reminded by a previous speaker, you know, you took an oath to the state of Michigan. I said, yes, that's true, but I work for my constituents. But in looking back at my political career, which began in 2009, when I told my mother what I was going to do, she looked at me and she said, "Ha, don't you know politics is dirty?" And I said, well, yes, Mom, I do, but you know what? You taught me as a young boy that if I didn't like something, I'd better work hard to change it. And that's exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. 3 days later, my phone rang. Philip, this is your mother. Ooh. I just want you to know, if this is really what you want to do, I'm with you. And my mother is so well known because she is such a community giver, and at 91, she continues to do that same thing in our wonderful community of Cadillac. I approached my wife then, said, Jan, I'm going to run for politics. I'm going to run for the state office of the 102nd. She looked at me and she said, no, you're not. I ran anyways. Won, and she looked at me after and she said, Beth, I knew you were going to do that anyways. And she has been supportive in her own way because she is not a political person. And she did remind me that, will you quit telling me what I'm supposed to do and where I'm supposed to be? Instead, I want you to be asking me. And so that's exactly what I've done. So when we finish up here, I have asked her to take a little ski vacation with me, and she at least agreed to do that because she's still working. She's a public health nurse in District 10 up in the Cadillac area. But as we moved on, you know, my first year, I got my first bill that I am the most proud of. It was the anti-bullying bill. We tried in the state of Michigan for 10 years to get that bill through, and finally got it through, and very, very proud of that, and have worked very hard to continue to maintain that, being on both the education and the school aid subcommittees. And my first professional job was as a teacher. And what did I teach? I taught government economics and government in the high schools. But you know what? That was during the Vietnam era, and we ran out of soldiers in Vietnam, and the answer politically was, let's do a lottery, a birthday lottery. Everybody's birthday goes in, and all your exemptions are gone. I was married at the time, had a child. So in it went, and boy, in February, that lottery was announced, and watching TV, they rattle off the first 10 numbers, and I go to the refrigerator. This is great. Get the can in my hand, and I don't even have it opened. And I was lucky number 11. Wow. Big change coming in my life, and it really was. But as I moved on, became an active duty soldier through the National Guard, and then came back, no teaching jobs, and I joined my dad at Western Concrete, a company that he had started in 1946. and I continued it until 2006, when my girls left me and said, "Dad, you know what? We're married. We want to do something else. We want to have kids." I said, "Wow, thanks for telling me at least." And I've been spending these last 10 years selling off equipment, locations, because we had 6 locations throughout all of northwestern Michigan. And I'm still selling off and cleaning up some of those locations. But you know, as we talk about campaigning, my campaigning started back in '09, and like all of you, hey, we're out knocking on doors, we're going to a lot of local government meetings, service club meetings, local chamber of commerce events. Ooh, and the big thing is driving the miles you drive. I think I put on about 40,000 miles a year. And at that time, I had a young man named Dave Coffey, who was one of my kids' friends because he'd gone to high school with them. And so I was in charge of hitting the doors, and Dave was in charge of the dogs. There were some times that he should have gotten out of the car a little bit faster, as I'm sure all of you have experienced too. And I know Bruce, for a fact, has been bitten a couple of times. But we won't talk about that, right, Bruce? But in 2010, I did win. I won that 102nd seat and began my weekly drive down here to Lansing to represent my constituents in Mecosta, Osceola, and Wexford counties. And I started off by hiring a local staff, and that didn't work out very well. They moved on fairly quickly. But I was also assigned to the Appropriations Committee, an action that I wanted, having been in business. Yes, I did know how to read a financial statement. Yes, I had signed the front of checks and fired people and hired people, and it just seemed like a very appropriate thing to do. And I became the chairman then of Agriculture and Rural Development, because again, I'd been involved in a lot of building and a lot of development. Also a member of the Capital Outlay, Education, School Aid, and Transportation Committees. And with Governor Rick Snyder coming in, we began to reinvent Michigan. And I continue to use that reinvent as I sign off all of my letters. And that was our 96th Michigan legislature. My seat, same one I'm in, 6 years, 105. And I'm in District 102. I don't know why that didn't jive, but anyways, 105. And I've been very blessed to have the same seatmate, John Bumstead, for the last 5 1/6 years. 1/6, yeah. I had another roommate or seatmate, excuse me, for some months, but he didn't make it. I really want to thank our Sergeant-at-Arms Chief Dixon, as well as Don and Randy, John, Fawn, Pete, Randy, Lauren, David, John, and Chris, because they are my backup. There's no question about it. I can carry a concealed weapon, but I haven't had to do that very often, you know, because those guys are there protecting each and every one of us in a very positive way. And our clerks, Gary Randall, Rich Brown, thank you so much, and your staff for doing the great job you do to keep us, one, in motion, but the other thing, to keep us legal, you know, moving forward under our Constitution. And I really want to extend a true thank you to John and to Jeff for what you do with our communications, and Mike for our photos. Thank you very much. I learned a few things from you, and I think I might have taught you one or two also. Yeah. But also to your backup, Rich, and to Jeremy. Jeremy, it's been a real pleasure. You know, we alternate opportunities for photos for all of you representatives, and that's been very wonderful. And Alice, haha, I hope you can hear me, Alice, even with the door closed. Thanks for the refreshments, thanks for the encouragement, and the birthday celebrations that we got to do together a few times. And with my re-election in 12, you know, I had a great theme as I went to those doors. It was knock, knock. Hey, you know what? It is time to refill 102. Pretty easy. You'd think I was a marketing person or something. Bumper stickers, refill 102, and it worked. It worked very well. I found out that I then kept pretty much the same committees except for one, transportation. And as a former ready-mix concrete supplier for Michigan highways, it was very evident that I knew way too much to be on that committee, but so did my colleague, Representative Ken Goyke, and we were both removed our second terms. Fortunately for me, I was able to develop a great relationship with Director Kirk Steidel. I found out he liked to snow ski. Hey, and being from Cabernet, I invited him up every year to my annual family ski time at Cabernet Peaks, and we still ski together. And that relationship has been strong and continues to make positive things happen, as we did with our new transportation package that, for those of you coming back, get ready on January 1 when the taxes go up for gas, when the license plates go up and registration fees go up. You know, you're in charge now. So we've done our job. Right, Mr. Speaker? In August of 2013, I was selected to attend the Build Leadership Program in Madison, Wisconsin. What a wonderful opportunity. And because I was the oldest member of 3 going, I said, hey, I'll be the driver, and I do know how to get there and whatnot. And so my representative colleagues, Bob Kosowski and Clint Kesto, who accompanied me, said, oh, Phil, that would be fine. And Clint, being as tall as he is, we put him in the back seat. And that worked out just great because Kosowski just happened to have a little extra fresh air quite often. But it worked out well, and I highly recommend that program to anyone who is seeking to expand their leadership skills and knowledge in Midwest legislative policy especially. It is a wonderful, wonderful program, and there are a few of us still sitting here, Marcia being one of them, who have attended that, and also Erica. Thank you, Gretchen. Yes. My 2014 election went very smoothly. Again, remember, it was refill 102. And I shifted my committee membership, too, from being the chairman of Ag to military and veterans. And being a member of Class 15, the Michigan Military Academy, along with senior speaker, staff member Norm Sari, it was time for me to begin to actively give back to our military members throughout Michigan. And that's really what I've been able to do these last 2 years. I was also named the chairman of Education Appropriations Subcommittee and vice chair of School Aid. And working in coordination with Representative Tim Kelly, our committee members, Muxlow, Canfield, Miller, Pagan, Banks, Pagel, Roberts, and Zemke, we've been able to move more dollars per student to our schools and also have really improved our communication level with our new superintendent, Brian Ristom. It's been wonderful. And as a member of the Appropriations Committee all 6 years, I'm also very proud of our committee chairmen and women because we work closely with Governor Rick Snyder and our House policy staff, who I really want to personally thank for helping us get through our budgets, get them done early by the first part of June and signed and passed off. Because by law, all of our schools and all of our villages and towns have to have their budgets done by the end of June. And if they don't know how many dollars they're getting from the state, how can you get your budget done? And we have done it. Great job, Al Pashoka. Thanks for being our leader these last 2 years. And my mother said, you know, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything, so I won't say anything about your predecessors. But also, gives me a special time, too, to say thank you to some of my staff members, my office staff, Mike Alamo, Aaron Bayless, who we were with last night. Thanks again, Joel. And today, I have Charles Visser and Chelsea Alcock are both sitting up, along with Jamie Callahan. And Jamie, an airman's salute to you. A longtime friend. I watched Jamie grow up, as well as truly my aide in my back office. And I have a very special person back in Cadillac, Mike Paulin, who has been here for every one of my swearing-ins and been a wonderful staff member right in Cadillac. And it's been a real pleasure working with longtime friend, associate, and also my condo mate, Bruce Rendon. Bruce, thanks so much. It's also time, too, to say thank you to my mom, to my wife, Jan, of 49 years, our 4 children who have all been down here and their spouses, and our 9 grandchildren. I truly love you, and I really have appreciated your support in giving me this opportunity to be one of very, very few people to be able to work in this room. I, like many others, started off here in High Y, in youth leadership and government in high school. I didn't sit in that same chair, but and that's really what got me started in deciding and how to finally come back here to Lansing and to be a giver instead of a taker. Lastly, I'd like to remind everybody that just like baseball, 3 strikes and you're out. And that's exactly what's happened to all of us third-termers. So thank you very much. God bless each and every one of you. God bless Michigan. God bless America. This is Photo Phil. Till next time.